but no, it was not a little, very welcoming. No, no.
I just want to say before we start that you all know I can't hear.
Yes.
But I've had a real significant drop in my hearing, and my hearing aid doesn't help it. And so I'm going to just hope I don't have to say, what? All the time. I need one of those. Yeah.
Good, I can,
You buying dinner? Look, Ron's buying dinner.
I can, cash that and spend the money.
Buying dinner, right?
I don't need any dinner.
Oh, well, your friends do.
Yeah.
Okay, I will call the meeting to order. And we don't have a duty, so. Ron McMullen,
Here.
Harlan Dillon,
Here.
Georgia Jarman,
Here.
Judy Walter,
Here.
Dane Beal,
Here.
Patty Long,
Here.
Sandy Hankey,
Here.
Judy Tyler. All right. I haven't missed anyone, have I? No, okay. Do we have public comments?
Do we have someone to keep minutes? Okay.
Unless you volunteered.
No.
Have something you'd like to offer? I'm sorry, what? All right. Jay,
Except for Jay.
have anything you want to offer?
I'd like to welcome everybody back to Warrensburg in this unexpected treat. No, just, if you don't know, I've been covering both Holden and Warrensburg because Teresa, the manager down there, has had surgery. So she's doing really good though. So I'll let everybody know she's doing really, really good. So fingers crossed she comes back soon. But down there today, Kelly did her story time, and it was really neat to see her do that. I've never seen her do that before, so she does a really good job down there. And up here, we're kind of getting ready for summer reading. We have a new person as a programmer. Amy Franklin has moved up into that clerk 2 position, and she has got so many ideas. I may have to rein her in for just a little bit because she is just flying with it. But she's got a story time on Saturdays. That the first one story time a month. Last month, I think in January, there were maybe 20 kids, kind of like what we have for regular story time. This time, there were almost 50 kids. So yeah, it was really nice.
Kids, right? Or was that?
That was everybody that was there. So it's kids and parents. I consider them all kids if they're coming to story time. Everyone's a kid, right?
Kids at heart, right?
Exactly. So yeah, so it was really kind of nice to know that Saturdays are a day that we can do some programming. So
Is she available to help the other branches as well, or is she starting out here, or always be here, or?
as far as I know, she's good. I hope she stays. But like with any of my staff, if they see a need and they need to help someplace else, I will allow that to happen. You know, if they need help someplace else. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome back to Warrensburg.
There she is.
Boy, they're all happy to see you, Judy.
Yeah. For a lot of reasons.
I was doing minutes for you, Judy.
You know, sometimes if it rains.
Too late, you walked in.
I can keep on going if you want me to.
You can, like, in the morning, go through and buy you.
Well, I'm ready.
All right.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Yeah, it gets under real fast sometimes.
All right.
Minutes. You left out important words, like if we get any kind of rain tonight or anything.
Paragraph
probably be here by
15,
tomorrow.
business D,
I went through there.
down towards the bottom of it.
No. Under
It's not
Tuesday.
necessary to hire 2 part-time safety technicians. It should be public safety. There's a big difference.
Where are we at?
Are we?
Paragraph 6, new business, oh, I'm sorry, this is the Odessa from the last meeting, January 13th, 18th. Oh, I can't read.
New business.
Paragraph E.
Okay.
I see it now, I was not seeing it. Yes, you're right,
I
I
see
see
where we
public
are.
safety.
Completely different. Something
Yes.
safety. Public.
Safety tells you what you,
Okay.
how to present an act,
Okay.
public, you can have public safety puts you in jail.
That would have been the January.
Yep. Oh, it jumps out at me.
All right, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Is it as corrected?
Well, I was gonna get to that.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. I just wanted us to get her point in.
Yeah, I was gonna say is.
Go ahead
I
and
was
do
gonna-
whatever you're
Is
gonna do.
there a
Scott.
second, and then were there
I
any
have a
other?
s- I'll second.
Okay. Okay, was there any other discussion besides Judy's correction?
Okay.
Judy,
Who made the motion?
Ron
Ron made the motion.
and
I
George
made the
second.
motion. And who seconded?
Georgia.
And now that I think about that, as corrected, and then I'll ask for any
Is
other
it-
discussion. Okay.
I just wanted to be sure we
Okay.
got it.
No other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Is the director evaluation committee what we're gonna do under closed session?
Mhm.
Okay.
I didn't think y'all would be ready, so I still had you under unfinished business.
We are finished.
Okay, approval of the quarter lease, renewing the quarter lease. Why is that just for 1 year?
Because that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what we do, and then you have,
Why is it for 1 year?
The last 2 years.
Really? Okay.
yep, and then you have an option to renew for a second year with the same lease, I believe is what it is, and then you have to do a whole new lease. Nothing changed other than the name.
I move that we renew that lease for quarter.
I'll second.
Haven't we paid them already? I thought we did.
I don't know if we
Is
have
there
to-
anybody else here besides,
Jay?
Jay and Luke? Is Luke here?
Well, the branch is closed, so yeah,
I
Jay
keep
left.
seeing somebody moving around over there.
Oh, let me
We still have,
I'll get up and check real quick.
I'm gonna send you out to check it. See if you've been attacked. Because there's a camera up for watching you.
I can't tell who it is. I could just see somebody kept moving around over there.
yeah,
It's a reflection in a reflection.
It's a couple of the staff.
Okay.
And Luke is, I believe, in the next one.
spent too much time with it.
I thought we paid that always at the very beginning of.
We probably did.
I got the entire 3,000. Yeah, or 3,600.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's what we do it.
I'd say probably in July.
I think so.
A motion, if we have a second to approve the quarter lease.
Second.
Motion by
Well,
George,
I think
George made the
already
motion.
Ron
seconded it.
seconded.
Ron seconded?
Yeah.
Okay.
That don't make any difference. She's
All in favor? Any opposed? Sandy is opposed.
No, I raised my hand with the other guys.
Time delay, okay. Okay. I I was getting ready to ask why. Okay. That's all I hear.
Yes, so I just need a signature here. We need 2 signed copies,
Okay.
basically, but we're, it's right here.
Okay. Okay, approval for the revised strategic plan?
So, if you remember back in December, administration did like an administrative retreat and we focused on the strategic plan, where we were with the goals, if we needed to move anything around to other years. So this is just a revised version of that, and we also changed the format, so it could be a working document. Thank you, Susan. Anyway, so it has all the changes in there for you, but I don't think any of the goals changed. We just moved them around, and some of them, I think there was a couple that we combined together. Mostly it was moving to another year.
Like 3 or 4,
Yeah.
because we didn't want to do it, so we're gonna move it.
Well, some of it was the collection stuff, where we haven't had TS manager, and we've been short-staffed also in the department, and so we decided to push, there's no way they're gonna be able to get that done, so that we pushed off, so.
That one was right here.
Mhm.
I had a question though.
Okay.
Move the Knob Noster parking lot,
Mhm.
which was to have been done already, because we moved it from last year,
Mhm.
and now we're moving it down. We're only gonna patch it, and that's not appropriate.
The reason that we decided was because that group came in and painted the parking lot.
That was a voluntary effort.
I know, but we didn't want to just immediately
They knew that was
destroy what
gonna
they
happen.
did. And so we do have it in there, so we were going to assess. And then we have, so next fiscal year starts in July, so we'll be working on the budget for that. And then, because that exhibit is gonna be there, we're
Mhm.
probably gonna go ahead and have that done.
Carlin, what was your assessment of it?
I don't believe we ever had a real bid on it. We had an
We didn't have a
estimate.
bid on it, but it got moved down because we were working over here and spending more
Yeah.
money than,
Yes, we did have an estimate, but we never had an actual bid on it.
no, we didn't. But
So
we did
we
have-
were kind of just guessing what it was gonna be.
planning on doing it a year ago already.
Yes, I believe we voted on it even, I think.
And she complained because when she got over there, she was tripping and falling all over.
It's really in bad shape.
So that's why we kind of decided to push it off, to give where they painted, instead of
They
just going
knew it
directly
was going
in
to be
and
painted.
redoing it, yeah.
They knew it was gonna be redone.
And we may not be able to afford it now when you get a bid. I would not be at all surprised if it's not around $80,000.
Well, let's get a bid.
So, and that's kind of what we're doing, is that they're gonna be going around this fiscal year doing those assessments. And then if we think it needs to be redone, but then we'll probably also look at the cost for patching versus the cost for
Who's
redoing.
doing the assessment?
Our facilities, got
Okay. Has anyone talked to the people in Warrensburg or Nombuster?
as far as the branch staff. Yes. And they will be going around with the branch manager to determine everything.
Well,
Because
and
I was told they didn't know anything about it.
That way.
It being split.
We just had training with them on February 1st, and we went over all of this. I mean, they had the
and
documents.
the strategic plan is also a new roof for Knob Noster. So you may have to decide what you want this year. Do you want a new roof or do you want a parking lot?
For another year.
I'm just saying.
We have somebody who's going to look at it, is that?
So our
Our own people.
facilities guys are going to, do the assessments, and what, if you remember in here, we're assessing all the branches for their needs. to help us prioritize. And so we may find something at Knob Noster that's worse than the parking lot. And so until we do that assessment, we didn't want to jump in and start doing something. And again, they had just painted, the volunteers, and so we didn't want to just go directly in and redo all that when they had just painted.
Well, after the assessment, I guess we'll know which comes first.
Well, it was assessed before already. That's the reason it was in the plan for last year.
I think that was before, some of that stuff.
Oh, this is the law according to Jackie.
I can't speak for what happened before I came, and last year's budget, if you remember, I didn't put last year's budget together.
What is his name, is the one that put it on the plate, that it should have been done already. What's his name, Kyle?
Kyle, maybe.
Was the assistant and went to.
Yeah, went to UC. So I know some of the things were in there and were just kind of left in there, and that's kind of what has been happening in the past, is things are in the budget to be done, and then for whatever reason, they don't get done. So they just get carried over to the next year, and then they don't get done. They either eventually get out of the budget, or it just keeps going on. And so some of that was carried over from last year, or the fiscal year 21 into 22, but that was not the budget that I put together. So, and then we had the strategic plan to kind of start fresh.
Just seems that Knob is getting pushed down the road again. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna make a comment. When I was looking at the three groups that they had, of the patrons, one of the comments I have is that, for instance, people like me don't fit into either one of these three. There's a lot of people, like, I'm more in the traditionalist, but it's very focused on community anchor.
Oh, you're talking about this from
Yes.
Yes.
It's very much focused on community anchor, or people that are my age looking for support services. Whereas there's a huge amount of people in the county that are not, in the city, kind of city limits, that kind of, the people who don't have kids anymore don't kind of fit into. I'm like, do the elections at Bate City, and Bate City, even though it's a very small town, the county population is so huge that it's like, if not the busiest election thing, in Lafayette County. But it's like, they're not necessarily glued to the community anchor of Odessa, and then you look at the people in Wellington, Napoleon, and the people that are in between on that. So they're kind of missing people like maybe me, but I'm involved in the library anyway, but people like me who want programs that are learning type programs and not social services or looking that type of thing.
Sure.
That's just kind of a comment.
So you weren't here when we were working on the strategic plan. It had been worked on 2 years before I came. I was the third director to work on that. Honestly, we had Orange Boy, that was the one helping do the strategic plan. I was not impressed. Not at all. So honestly, we put their stuff in here, their results that they came up with, but we didn't completely go by what they have when we came up with our goals, because of some of those reasons, yeah. So, anyway, we do another strategic plan. Do not recommend going with Orange Boy. I have never seen a strategic plan done that way, ever.
What's it called?
Orange Boy is the company.
It's the company, yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yes. And we also have.
Are we out of that contract?
We are not. And then, of course, we also have the Savannah platform, where we can push like emails, stats. It's a lot of the analysis stuff for us, and I'm gonna say it's another year or two.
The Orange Boy? They're like,
It's named after their cat.
Orange
Oh,
Boy
their cat, oh, okay.
came to us
Whose cat?
courtesy of Rochelle McCullough.
What's the Savannah, what was that other thing you said, Savannah platform?
Savannah platform, that's kind of
Is that part of this Orange Boy
It is.
company?
the Orange Boy is the company, Savannah is the platform that we
accountant assistant director has been coming.
I know that's what she went for. Good for them.
The director,
Previous director.
Oh,
yeah.
Were there any other questions on any of the?
I noticed that everybody has a, was there supposed to be a copy in the packet?
No, you got it later.
no, it was in my packet.
It was supposed to be, it was, I didn't put it in there, and then I emailed it to, you know what? I emailed it to the branch manager, and Teresa is out, so yours was missed. I
Okay.
apologize.
I was saying everybody had something.
I just got mine yesterday.
Okay.
It was in,
Yeah, they were supposed to have printed it and put it in your
it was in my,
Okay.
it was in my packet, yeah.
Yeah, well, I sent it to the branch managers, but that branch, his branch manager at the
Oh.
Holden location is out.
Oh.
And so I guess Jay wasn't there, or it.
Sandy has a question.
Huh?
Sandy
Yeah,
has.
Sandy.
Until I looked at that.
I know, dumb question. How long is our contract with Orange Boy?
I think it's another year or two.
How much does that cost us?
A lot.
Oh, no, it's a
The-
lot.
I'd have to look it up, I don't have it.
I want to say 7,000 or 8,000.
Yeah, it's several thousand, yeah.
Okay.
Comment was being made all the time that we were all supposed to be included in their
Do you wanna look at it? Sorry.
Survey.
I never was, I
I
never.
wasn't either. Like I'm too opinionated.
I make a move that we accept the revised strategic plan.
Whoever you want to put.
All right.
Me or myself.
We have a motion by Carlin and a second by Jane. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion?
What was the motion?
To approve it,
Approved,
revised.
No other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. So an update on the proposed rule from the Secretary of State?
Okay. So, he did go ahead and submit it with changes. So there are a few big changes, that changes the meaning, clarifies it a little more, than what the original was. So, he changed, for the collection development policy, addressing how selections are made and considering the appropriateness for the age and maturity level of any minor. He changed that to the appropriateness by age of any minor, struck out maturity level as defined in statute. And then he took out, who assesses any material in any form. So that was stricken out. So that helps clarify a little bit there. The second one, no funds received shall be used to purchase or acquire material in any form that appeal to the prurient interest of any minor. That was the original. The change is, no funds received shall be used to purchase or acquire material that constitutes child pornography, is pornographic for minors, or is obscene, as those terms are defined in section of statute. So, which is fine. I mean, we're already following that, so not a big deal. We just have to make sure that our policies are updated to reflect everything. The next change had to do with, I'll just read it. The library has or will adopt a written, publicly accessible policy allowing any minor's parent or guardian to determine what materials and access will be available to a minor, and no person employed by or acting on behalf of the library shall knowingly grant access to any minor, any material in any form not approved by the minor's parent or guardian. So they added language in there to specify that it's, in other words, their minor child. They can't determine for everybody else's. And if you want me to, I can read it with the changes. The library has or will adopt a written, publicly accessible policy allowing a minor's parent or guardian to determine what materials and access will be available to that minor, so their specific minor child. And no person employed by or acting on behalf of the library shall knowingly grant access to a minor to any material, kind of seems like that too is out of place, but anyway, any material in any form not approved by that minor's parent or guardian. So it does specify there in that. Letter D was not changed at all, so it was submitted in the original form, so that's no age inappropriate materials in any form. As defined in the library's collection development policy, shall be knowingly displayed in the library in areas designated by the library as containing materials predominantly for minors. So we had a conversation about this yesterday, and essentially, all of our books are on display. So we'll have to have something in our policy to, to specify that. But of course, we put them kind of loosely in age groups or categories. We have the easy, juvenile, YA, and then the adult stuff. So, which we're already doing that. So, no event or letter E. No event or presentation shall be held at the library without an age-appropriate designation affixed to any publication, website, or advertisement for such event or presentation. So that did not change. We already do that. Every flyer, every advertisement, it says what age group that program or presentation is supposed to be for. F, the library has or will adopt a written, publicly accessible library materials challenge policy by which any person may dispute or challenge the library's age-appropriate designation affixed to any presentation, event, material, or display in the library, and the results of any such dispute or challenge shall be disclosed to the public and published on the library's website. So the change there is the parent or guardian of a minor has to be within our library district. So that limit, it can't be an outside group that comes in to cause problems. And then the only other change was we have to submit the copy of the written policies to the state librarian, and now they're saying annually by July 31st. So from our conversation yesterday, this has not been implemented yet. So it was submitted. It has to go to JCAR, the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules. They have 30 days to make changes or modifications if they so choose. If they keep it as is and don't modify it anyway, then it should go into effect in April. Not necessarily in effect, it would be approved in April. And then from what I understand, it will be implemented starting July 1, so the new fiscal year. And then we would have until July 31st to get all of our policies in, which means we'll have to revise those policies. There may be new policies that we need to add to make sure that we're covered. The state library is helping they're either going to gather some sample ones from libraries that already meet the criteria, or they're going to come up with a template that we can modify for our individual libraries. So we're getting some help from the state library.
That's what I was gonna say. Well, how do you know what you've approved for your child without it being marked on his?
We would put it, yeah, we would have to put notes in the child's account is what we would have to do.
You would almost have to have a parent present with every minor child to check out a book.
And honestly, we encourage that. You should know what your children are checking out, what they're reading, what they're accessing.
Right. But I mean, we're talking about every minor, so anyone under the age of 18 has to have a parent approval, check out a book.
And we have to keep track of it.
I am imagining that we will have some, something on our library card application where they can designate certain things, and just do a check mark, and then it's in their account, so we know. The parent may say they can't check out anything unless I'm with them, right? So then that is on the card, I know.
But we got these automatic checkout robots, so now we're gonna have to stand by the robots to.
So yeah, And of course, then they're still saying it's not gonna cost more than $500. Well,
Yeah,
Who's gonna pay that?
I mean, just in staff time alone,
yeah,
revising policies without anything else is gonna be more than $500.
yeah.
So,
My thought is, if a parent is gonna be
It's
that,
political grandstanding.
they should be going to the library with their child.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to.
I mean, they're gonna have to be there, but if you're gonna be that picky about what you want your child to check out, then just come to the library with your
Mhm.
child.
An example, the child, instead of ensuring the parent is there, goes down the street and buys a book.
Yeah,
Mhm.
especially if you're.
Or access it online.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
I bet the first complaints we get will be from parents who don't want to have to do this. Is this legal?
Yeah.
Any law people here?
So if they.
So how will you, do you have a plan on how you will handle that, like as to how, if someone, I don't know, complains or whatever? I mean, you're gonna have that like in the computer, and when you try to check out a book, it's gonna say this book or whatever?
What we'll probably have to do is have people sign up for new library cards,
Mm-hmm.
or ask those people when they come up, and we know it's a minor's account, you know, but the parent would have to be there to check a box saying, okay, I don't care what my kid checks out, you know. Thank goodness my mom was one of those. I had no restrictions on reading. She had restrictions on TV, everything else, but not reading. So,
Nothing like discouraging kids to read, or making them wonder, oh, what's in that?
There goes
Yes.
the whole situation of going out to the schools and.
So if a kid comes in,
I'm sorry.
it complicates all kinds of things, yeah.
so if a kid comes into the library and wants a library card, and I'm assuming on the application, it's going to say, you know, my parent gives me permission or whatever.
The parent would have to sign that.
The parent would have to come, and so if you have a parent, oh, this is sad, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, it is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, can a kid just get a library card on his own, or does he have to?
No, I think up until a certain age, I think it's 16, then they can get their own card, because they usually have their own ID by then. I'd have to look into exactly what our policy says, but, no, right now they can't. The parent has to sign, because they have to be responsible for lost, damaged items or anything.
Sandy?
Yes, I
Sandy?
just happened to ask that question at the library when I was there yesterday because we have some teachers here that had talked to me about trying, we were going to try to get all of our high school kids a library card, but a parent has to be with them unless they're 16. So that's, so there's the answer to that. A parent has to come in and like Debbie couldn't get them a library card if they were under 16. A parent had to come with them.
There may be a way around that where we can send the application home, where the parent could still sign the application just like a permission slip, and then we could do it that way. But Debbie maybe didn't think about that.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah, no kidding, yeah.
Yeah, you have to trust that it's the parent's signature, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But that's, I mean, in North Dakota, that's what we did, because, every year we had all of the kids at all of the schools that we went to, they all had library cards. So, of course, the new people that had moved in, or the new kindergartners, preschool, pre-K and kindergarten, we had to set them all up all new cards. So that's what we did. We sent the form home, the parent could sign it, and then they sent it back. So hopefully at that young of an age, they're not gonna be.
Yeah, well,
Orgy.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
But especially when you're looking
Be surprised.
Warrensburg issued 85 new cards. Odessa was 35. I'm skipping over the small ones. Knob Noster was 31. Holden was only 10. And Concordia was 11.
So, I mean, in a month, we issued.
Now, I don't know if those were all school kids or not, but
I would say probably not. But still, I would say some of them would be minors for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when they go to the schools and encouraging, you can get your own library card, you know?
Well,
They could take this home.
yeah, on
Yeah.
Concordia, it does say that they went to the school, Concordia High School,
Mhm.
and a few library cards were issued and the students checked out books, yeah.
So what will that do to the self-checkouts? Will we have to shut them down or,
I don't know yet.
don't know?
Do not know. And it may be that we just have to have something in policy saying that if they check, you know, we don't monitor those, so anybody can check out whatever they want. And so then we're covered with our policy.
Unconstitutional or illegal or something to me.
Well, hopefully, someone will sue.
Pardon?
Hopefully the ACLU will sue.
Yeah, I hope so.
And
And I hope
honestly,
that-
this is probably mild compared to what's coming down
Oh, I'm sure.
the legislation wise.
Everywhere. In schools and libraries, everywhere where people can learn. We have lots of bills, over 200 bills right now in our Missouri State House about education. And some of the bills say that we have to do things, and we already do those things. But it's
Kind of like with us.
Covering their
It's
backside.
posturing, saying, look what the schools are doing. It's very, very devastating.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm through. For a little while.
So that's really all I have. So that's kind of the next step for it. And so I can give you an update next month. I hear some more.
All right. Do you have any announcements on the security cameras?
So they're all up and going,
I saw them, they're awesome.
all installed and operational. And if anybody wants to, after the meeting, I can take you in and show you. There are two big TVs like that. I think they're actually bigger than that, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, there's two. And then, of course, they have all the different cameras. Some of them are double images because they have to have certain number on the screen. So some of the images are duplicated, but we have the capability, we can add additional cameras. You know, have some, we know we're gonna need to adjust some of the cameras. And so Roger and I will be looking at, coming down, looking at the cameras, and if there's any way we can improve, or if we see any areas that we need to add additional cameras. So we didn't think about this room. We can separate this room, but there's only one camera. So we probably need one on the other side so that we have all of that covered.
So that's the only point of monitoring is in the
No.
workroom?
We can also, so certain people will have access online or through an app on their phone. And that will be limited to the people that can do that.
So how long does it keep the feed?
They have to keep it for a month.
Yeah, we have to keep it for a month, for record retention. And then after that, we can record over it or whatever, but we have to keep the footage for 30 days.
How is
Good,
that
we
being
have it.
stored then?
I'm assuming in the cloud.
Okay.
Luke might be able to answer that better than I can. See if he chimes in.
Wake up.
Do you know how the data is being stored? Is it in the cloud or is it?
Say what?
So it's physical?
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke.
But how much storage is in?
I used, I'm doing with her.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Oodles.
Okay, any other discussion on that?
And
Hopefully all of you got the community survey to fill out.
No, no.
I looked at it and I walked away.
I didn't.
Did I have?
Did you get it?
Yeah, I
Was it a
did,
long
but I
time
didn't, I
ago?
haven't had a chance to look at it.
It was sent out, so we sent it out on the 8th, and then we just sent the reminder email.
Yeah,
I filled out something and sent it in, but then I got something else in my email today.
yeah.
My email?
I don't think
I don't think I.
We
got
sent it by
either.
email, and then all the branches have paper copies.
So it's called what, a community?
It's a community survey, and it's focused mainly on programming and marketing, so the best times, days, types of programs for each one of the communities to be doing. So it's helping us
Do
with
they
our
have a-
marketing plan
I
and
didn't
our
get one.
program.
I didn't even.
Plan, our procedures.
You said they have them at the branches?
They do, yes. That's, so how many of you didn't get the email?
I did.
I
Because I got the reminder today and I started doing it, I said, oh, I've already done this.
I didn't get a reminder.
didn't.
Yeah, I did one too, and then I got it again today.
I thought, well, so I started doing it again, I said, oh, wait a minute, I've already done this. So-
But it was weird because it, usually when you do a survey, it comes back and it says, thank you for you've completed the survey or something, and it didn't do
And-
that.
And to get the reminder, usually if you go in there, it would say you've already done this.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I recognize the questions.
I didn't bring it to you. Are we, what, you want those turned in, are we turning those in back to the branch, or do you need those?
If
or-
you do a paper copy, you just give it to the branch,
Okay.
whoever's there, and then they'll send them in to us.
Do you want it, would you rather have it online? I mean.
It doesn't matter,
Okay.
either way, yeah.
As long as the weather's decent tomorrow.
Okay. I'm just
Yeah, I'll just get one at the branch.
concerned that that many of our board members didn't get them, which you all have library cards, right?
Yeah.
So you should be in our system. That many, so how many of our patrons didn't get it?
Yeah.
But we did have a really good response, from last week when we first pushed it out. We had, I want to say, close to 400 that responded, which was really
Well, that's
good. And we're
good.
hoping to get some
Yeah.
more from this week.
Well, that's good.
So I'll have to look and see if we can't figure
I
out why
think
you
we-
guys didn't get the
I think I don't-
Well, I got it twice, because I filled it out, and then I got it again today.
Yeah, I got.
And I got
twice.
this stuff,
Did you get it
but
twice?
I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't.
Judy, did you get it?
But that was strictly from.
I went to fill it out today, because I hadn't filled it out last week. And then, I'm so fed up with Green Hills Communication and my internet.
Oh, yeah. I'll look into that, because that is.
My mom might get, we get the same email.
Oh,
She gets the same email I get on the phone.
okay, so she
So
might
she
have
might
got,
have just,
okay,
maybe she just went like Greg filled it out.
she may have, yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
She never mentioned it to me, or maybe she did, and I just don't pay.
Yeah, my
I'll look into this,
My-
because
That would be-
this many board members didn't get it, how many of our patrons didn't get it? So that's concerning.
Because it's a library card.
Yeah, but as I said, my husband's picky, so he
Okay.
doesn't.
Well, is it expired?
Is there an expiration date?
Yes.
Okay.
It may not send it to people that have expired cards, which I know yours is.
Mine is,
Mine's
that's
not.
Yours is.
and I just renewed mine.
I didn't know
It worked
this
the
was
other day
like cards
anyway.
expired.
Worked like
Oh,
2 days
check out
ago,
both
so I
of
would
them.
think it's not expired.
Kelly told me, well, they expire once a year. I said, well, I didn't know that. I guess you guys just automatically renewed mine, didn't tell me.
Probably.
I'd say that's happened to me too, that Shelley just automatically.
Yeah. When you come to check something out, if they see that it's expired or getting ready to, they'll just go ahead and.
Usually I notice mine when I go get on Libby. If I get on Libby and it won't let me check something out.
Yeah, that's how I found out mine was expired, yeah.
Mhm.
They renewed mine, yeah, I went to the library and I went.
Automatically punch mine in.
I just checked.
Because we had this discussion about old cards,
But what?
about how old my card was.
It's a big day probably, that
Voting.
the computer thing.
My card's the old white with the red.
I have one like that too, but I have a new one.
Yeah, there's new ones.
Why do they send out new voting cards, since it's no longer?
What's that?
Why do they send
Yeah,
out
what
voting
is
cards?
that?
if they're not good anymore?
I can,
They should send me a voting card with my picture on it.
no, I can tell you that. The reason why they do it is because they want to make sure that people know where to vote because they did redistrict. And also the other issue is if they get them back, if they mail them out and they get them back, that like no longer at this address or something, then they know to investigate or check so they can take them off the voter roll.
So it's basically for the county clerk, to help them know what's going on.
Know what's going on.
It doesn't do us any good.
No.
So do we have any, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. The Board of Trustees, do we have any
I got one-
applications?
I have one application that was handed to me this week, so it didn't make it in the packet, so I'll have those. And then I also have some I have one foundation board application that I'll be bringing next month.
May I say something about that? I don't like the idea of advertising for these positions.
You don't like.
I don't like the idea of advertising for these positions. I like the way that we've traditionally done it. You know somebody that would be interested. We all know somebody who'd be interested. And we kind of vet them ourselves so that we don't take the risk of getting some because there are people in this county or counties that think that what the Secretary of State proposal doesn't go far enough. And I don't want that board to become even one of those people on this board.
Yeah, I agree with you because, you know, almost 8 years, we have always just done it ourselves, talked to people and didn't go to the newspaper and all that kind of stuff. Even when my wife on here 8 years ago, I was. They did the same thing. The board here just kind of recommended people and talked to people, and rather than going on the newspaper and the news and all that stuff, trying to get someone to.
I think you can recommend someone, but I don't think you can shut down because we're a public entity. You have to take in applications
You have to give
from
everyone.
the public. You have to give everyone a fair
But we've
chance.
never advertised for it.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have.
Well, we do within the community. For instance, every time not quite every time I see Laura, I say, do you have anybody that would be good on this board or that board?
There's nothing wrong with that, but to my way of thinking, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, this is a public entity, public service, and we have to give everybody equal access to it.
I mean, that's how I found out about the vacancy, was through an advertisement in the Odessa. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we can't go out and say to somebody who's just gonna be a great candidate, come on.
And recommend, yeah.
And recommend them, or
And
say,
you
you know, this is someone I recommend.
Right.
Well, it doesn't bother me, 'cause I'm gonna be gone in 4 months.
I mean, I understand.
So I don't care what you do.
I understand.
But one thing that you could do, instead of just looking at their application, there's nothing saying that you
Just kinda
can
look
have
at
a
them.
set of questions and have them come to a board meeting and you kind of do a little interview.
I would like to be able to vet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can check them out on Facebook too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how, when the previous two directors, I don't think I did that for you, but the previous two directors, I got on the Facebook to see what they were up to, you know?
Yeah,
I don't.
too late, I think, but you did.
Yeah, but some people do. A lot of people, I'm not talking,
On their personal page or the work page, or both?
no, I mean, for the previous two directors, before I was interested, the hiring committee, I went and looked at them, see what they were talking about, what they were, yeah.
I was gonna say, you probably can't find much online. I think I have it locked down for a reason. But, yeah, I thought you meant they were posting things like on their personal page.
Do we still have some, applications that maybe we could go back and touch base with them, or?
So I still have two from Lafayette, Krista Bell, which I actually met her at Library Legislative Day. She works for, I think, the Higginsville School District, and I think she is kind of their media specialist. And then there's another one that is a school librarian, and her name escapes me at the moment. But those that we have for Lafayette, and then I was given one for Johnson County so far. So. And then one, for the foundation. I believe, yeah, for Lafayette.
And you don't have the information for the Johnson County one?
No, because it was given to me and I'd already sent out packets, so, yeah. So I'll bring it in March.
So
Hopefully we'll
Johnson
have it
County,
before
we need
choose
to-
from.
We need to find some applications. Applicants, I guess is what.
Mhm.
How many, I looked at that, but I can't remember. How many people are we going to need?
Well, currently, we just need one,
That's what I thought, okay.
but then come end of June, we're gonna lose
Three.
so 2 in Johnson County and 1 in Lafayette. And of course, we do still have the 2 that they said they wanted me to hold on to and resubmit when there was another seat, so.
And Paula said absolutely not, right?
I told Paul, I said, technically Judy and I can stay on because we replaced 2 people that resigned, so. No.
You love it so much.
I definitely want to give the people in the office who have their countdown calendar for me to be gone, I want to give them a chance to rejoice.
The what?
Countdown calendar.
Well, you could always wait till the very last, minute and then pull the rug out from under.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta close your computer.
Oh, yeah, Sandy.
Jackie, can you email those to us so we can look at them before the next meeting? The applications?
Your packet for next month.
Okay, I didn't know if we could look at, just to see what we needed to do. No, just a question.
You're talking about.
Are you talking about like just a blank application?
Well,
Yeah.
no, the ones just send us by email the ones that you have and maybe a blank application so we have one if we find somebody.
Yeah, I mean, normally I just submit them in your packet when I get all of them together. And you'll have it several days before the meeting, but I can certainly send out a blank one for you guys to share with anybody that you think.
Aren't they on Trail's website?
They are.
And they probably have them.
Yeah,
They are.
the right application.
They should have them at the branch.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Or they should be able to
Mhm.
get one.
Okay.
For the record, I'm looking so forward to just being a private citizen.
Are you done with that?
I've been on the library board for 26 years, I'm tired. Okay, did you go, I think we talked about this,
Yes.
but you didn't put it on the thing, just how did library day go?
Oh, yeah, I didn't put it on here, but yes, it went really well, and I was actually gonna put it in my report.
Okay,
That's
well,
okay.
that's okay.
That's okay.
That's fine.
But, no, it went really well. We had a great turnout. I think that's the largest, turnout that they've had, and sometimes, of course, last 2 years, they didn't have it.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was virtual last year, but they also had a virtual platform for people, that couldn't make it to that day. I forget how many people they
I
had.
thought you were going.
I wasn't.
I
Scotty
consider
talked
it.
me into it.
Scotty,
And I'm glad I went. I'm glad I went.
I really wanted to go.
Yeah, so we took 4 people so that we can split up when we needed to, but we were able to talk to, we never heard back from, one of our senators. Yeah. Never heard back from one. The other one, everybody else we heard from, and was able to set up appointments. So we didn't get to meet with, the one senator, and then we ended up going over with one, and so we missed, they weren't in the office when we got down there, we were late. And so we did leave them a business card, a note on the back that we would follow up with an email.
Did you talk to Senator Bratton?
No, that's the one that would not respond. Cass County,
Is
like
that
ours,
Or at least mine, it would
Yeah.
be yours.
Yeah, Cass County tried to set up an appointment, and he never responded to any of the phone calls, emails. And they started well before we did, because they were already planning on going, so we got in on the last
I
minute.
got no
And I'm
comment.
sure he's one that thinks that this proposal doesn't go far enough.
Right,
Yes, he is.
and that's why he didn't want to.
If I ever see,
My opinion is that's why he didn't want to talk.
yeah. If I ever see him,
I know where he lives.
I'm gonna ask.
I'm gonna ask that rascal how he knows what his constituents want.
How do you know? You know? Oh, I'm sorry.
I know where he
just so-
lives.
What's Denny running for, by the way, do you know?
Well, Benny was
Is he
such a
governor?
jewel.
Is he running for governor? All I saw was stay tuned.
You're
Oh,
kidding.
no, he's got his bumper sticker on there that says, stay tuned, I'm ready to take the fight farther, so whatever he's fighting,
Maybe he's
Great
running for
information.
president.
maybe so, I don't know.
I think it's Representative
we don't have
Reedy
He is really
that's
slippery.
over, not officer. That's really the only town that he is in our district, I think. But he sent us, a resolution proclamation form to fill out for our Smithsonian exhibit that's coming in December. And he said he would be willing to come, like at a grand opening event and present that. So I was like, wow, I think it was Representative Reedy, I might have the names mixed up.
Did you work
Representative Reedy,
Yes,
that covers Knob Nostril.
yes,
Did you speak to Dan Howe?
yes. He was our first appointment. So, yeah.
Was he supportive though?
He was. I would have to say the representatives, I felt overwhelming support from all of them, except we didn't get to talk to the one. But yeah, overwhelming support more so from the representatives. The one senator that we talked to, I mean, he listened, but I didn't really feel support.
What senator was that?
Oh, I knew you were gonna ask me that.
Alford? Didn't you do-
He's a congressman.
He's a congressman,
Yeah.
senator.
I am blanking.
Since they've changed the districts, I don't know.
I am blanking on his name. But yeah, overwhelmingly, and a lot of them gave us their cards and was like, if there's anything we can do, you know, if we can write a letter in support for a grant that you're applying for, just let us know. So I'm like, wow. So I mean, we felt really, really good about, especially meeting with the representatives. So.
I'm very glad you went, even though,
But was any of the suggestions just to tell the Secretary of State to mind his own business, take care of his own
Well,
office?
we all wanted to. But again, we were there more to lobby for funding and tell our library's story.
Because we will need new funding to cover all
Of
the.
course, they're not voting.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's have a motion to go into closed session, please.
I move that we go into closed session.
that
We have a motion by Georgia and a second by Judy Walter. We'll take a roll call vote, please.
Okay, Judy Walter?
Yes.
Jane Beal?
Yes.
Kenny Long?
Yes.
Carlin Dillon?
Yes.
George Jarman?
Yes.
Ron McMullen?
Yes.
Sandy Henke?
Yes.
Judy Tyler, yes. And Scotty Walker?
Yes. All right, before we do so, how do we leave Sandy on to turn else off?
Oh.
I can just sign out. I can just sign out.
I'd like for you to be a part of the meeting.
Luke,
Yeah,
are
I
you
didn't know,
listening?